In Affinity Photo, you can create all kinds of designs using brushes, as well as symmetry and pattern layers in combination, along with blending modes and much, much more. So I'm going to go through that. I'm going to show you how to create the brush, as well as the pattern layer itself, but also I'm just going to demonstrate the sort of designs that you can create using a variety of different settings, such as symmetry, as well as changing the brush itself. So with this one, along here, I've got the brush tool selected. So brush tool selected, you can modify the width. You can go for a very small brush. So just set that to say 39 and apply. And you can see the design there, a bit different from before. Obviously, to make it clearer, I'm going to go for a slightly bigger brush, but you can change that. So you can just change it and see the design there. You can also modify the symmetry settings. Of course, you don't have to have the symmetry settings at all. You can just turn it off. So turn the symmetry off and just apply it just normal. So it's just applied free flowing over that pattern layer. And depending on the pattern layer, if it's seamless or not seamless. But I'm going to go with symmetry on, and you can vary this as well. You can change the symmetry. You can go for 1, so a very basic symmetry, and it uses this line. You can see this line here. So let's push that up to 16 so you can see it even clearer. You've got this here. Got that, all those lines going out. And as you apply your brush, you can see the design. So just like that. But if you push it down to 1, you just got that single design, and then you just flow around that, which is, I think, is quite nice on its own, just using 1. You can also deselect the mirror option. So you can see, you can create a variety of different designs just using that, and you can see the result of it being applied over and over, depending again on the pattern tile. Go up here, symmetry, you can set it to 16. I'm going to go with 8 for most of this, but you can vary it. Now you can also apply it differently, so you can see these lines radiating out. You can apply it along the lines, so you can just see as you do that, you can see you can create some very nice streaks of colour, and obviously red in this case, going out. But you can also just apply it maybe around the design, so you can create more sort of like spiral designs. You can create a variety, or just go to one area and just apply it there, go to another area, apply it there, and apply it there. So you don't have to have the whole design filled with your symmetry effects. So you can apply that. You can also go with mirror on. So again, that will result in a different result. You can see the mirror there. Just apply it out. And also, if you wish, you've got blending modes. You don't have to use it in normal. I'm going to use it mainly in normal. But you can use, say, screen. So apply it in screen and you can see the result there. And you can see, and then go maybe for linear burn and apply it again. And you can see different results that way. So linear burn, normal, just going to go with that. You can also reposition this. You can see now, if you've got the brush, you've got this symmetry point here. It's locked at the moment. You can unlock it, and here's the lock, so you can reposition it. You don't have to have it in the centre of the tile. That probably might not be in the centre of the tile when you first create it. So you can position it maybe at the top. So just there, that's the pattern tile. You can position it at that position and then apply it. Now, it's always probably best to lock it. Otherwise, what happens is sometimes you will accidentally hit it and just move it, and that you might not want to do that. Also, you can rotate it. Just rotate it slightly, just subtle change, and then you'll get a different result again. A different design can be created very simply by just rotation slightly. Depending obviously on the symmetry, you might go for say 10 or 12, and again do it slightly and then shift it, okay, just slightly around to create a different design on top of that. Variety of different things. What you can also do is you can go here to the brushes panel. You can bring up the brushes panel just by going here with the brush tool selected. You've got this little option here, more. It says more. Doesn't really give much of a detail there, but I guess it's giving you what more. Here it is. You've got the size. You can change the size, so you can reduce it down, so you can make smaller design. Obviously, you can do it here as well. You've got that. But you've also can change the spacing. You might like to see what the design is. Obviously, it's got lots of dots, and you can just apply that, and you can see then you get a dotted design instead. I'm going to go with spacing, so set to 1. That's the lowest value. The lowest value is 1, but also you can change this. Change the rotation, make it 29%, and apply. Maybe increase the size a bit, and just by changing the rotation, let's just change the symmetry a bit as well, reduce that down to 8, you will get a different result. You can see the different designs there just by changing that rotation. I wouldn't recommend the rotation jitter, because what happens, it just becomes really quite, it's fine if that's what you want, sort of very random design very quickly. But you can just reduce it down and get a nice flowing design like that by doing that. You can also change hue jitter as well. So if you want, you can get nice colour. Now that does slow the machine down a bit. In fact, you just see the result there. It does take a bit of processing. Sadly, there is no option for a different colour for each apply. That would be nice. But you can change that now. Probably got it going off, doing quite a bit processing as it does that. So you can see you can create a variety of different designs just by changing a few of the brush settings. But you can also reposition here. Move this around. You don't have to keep it. So if you go here, let's just check again, brush tool, select brush tool. You can see this center point there. Well, you don't have to have it there. You can move it down here. And again, brush tool, go there and apply your brush down there, and you will create even more different design, unusual designs. So literally thousands of designs can be created by just moving this around. But not only that, you don't have to go with this. You can turn around and say, oh, you know what? I want slightly squeezed in design. So you can squeeze it in like that. And again, go to the brush tool, and then you can see what happens there. You get very unusual design. Let's just reduce it down, symmetry, down to 1. You can see even more maybe with 1. And you can see another type of design. And of course, go back again to the move tool. You can rotate it. Don't have to keep it like that. You can rotate it around. Again, brush tool, and apply it. Make certain you lock it. Always a good idea. You don't lock it, it will move. And you can see you can create another type of design very rapidly. And again, you can still go to more, change this, go to general, and change the rotate. Now I would suggest avoid don't set wet. Just keep it off. Don't set wet. This setting I always find doesn't look so good. So let's just set it on so you see the result. I just find the result is slightly more blurry. Again, you can use that if you want. Personally, I generally always keep it off. But you can see you can create a variety of designs there. Again, go over here to the move tool. You can resize it as well as rotate it. You can also shear it. So you can create a nice shear design there. Again, go to the paintbrush tool and apply it again. So literally millions of different designs. Now you notice here, I've just got it on one layer. Don't have to keep it just on one layer. You can always create duplicate layers. So you can always go and create a layer and duplicate, build up another one. So layer and duplicate, that will become a pattern layer as well. And then you can go over here, paintbrush tool, apply a paintbrush. You can also go over here to layers, and you've got blending modes. So you can turn around and say, oh, let's go for difference. And you can then apply design, and it obviously will use this pattern layer below. They're separate now, so you can apply it multiple times and create even more unique designs using that. Let's just move everything. How to actually set everything on. Key thing, got the move tool selected there. You can create pattern layers either by using an existing design, which is fairly reasonable, but you can also go to pattern layers via layer and new pattern layer. So new pattern layer, and you see here it's set to 32. That's the default. But you can set it to 1000. You can also set it to the document size. So if the document's 2000 by 2000, just set it to that. And then click OK. And you've got your pattern bounding box. Now if I apply a brush stroke at this point, you can see what happens. Now I've still got symmetry on, and you can see the result there of applying that. And you can see create a variety of different designs simply from that start point. Or undo. Let's just undo that. Again, set the symmetry, maybe go for 4 and just apply it there. And you can see the result of that. That's how you create it. And you can always create another one. So you've got this design, you can turn around and say layer and new pattern layer again. You can set it to 1000 or set it to 300 by 300. Unfortunately, there's no option here to actually link them. Be nice if they had that, but click OK. And then you can see you can create a different design. You can see obviously a smaller design, but just by changing the pattern size, you can create a variety of unique designs. You can also create some very unusual ones. If I undo those, again, go to layer and new pattern layer. instead of using obviously 400 by 400, you don't have to do that. You can go for 620. 620. Click OK. And that creates a very thin, weird one. And what you can see then is you can create some very unusual line designs. Symmetrical as well. So you can create a variety of unique designs doing that. Personally, I don't generally make the pattern size that small, but you can, if you want to do that. And you can see now with the back to the standard pattern design there. And you can move it around, reposition it as mentioned before. So you can rotate it and create designs that way, and then continue to apply the brush stroke. And you can see the design there. Also, of course, you can apply filters. Filters like blur and Gaussian blur, distort, deform, twirl, so you can combine that as well. You can see the result there. Click apply. Go back to the move tool. You notice I've got the mirror set off. You can set that to be on and you get a nice effect there. And again, you can still continue with the paintbrush and apply your paintbrush over on top of that effect. You might not want to do it all the way, but just a slight subtle tweak of that design to create another unique design. How to create the brush itself. Well, the brush is very simple brush. And I'm just going to quickly demonstrate how to do that. Just go here, File and New. Just 800 by 600. Click Create. And then simply create some dots. Simple as that. You can create a variety of different designs. Now you can, of course, don't have to go with just all red. Pink, in that case, just got there. But you can select that, hold down the Alt Option key and duplicate. And then resize it. Now you can, of course, make a nice proportional way of going down, or just do it very roughly. And of course, you don't have to create it all in a line like I'm doing here. You can vary the colour. So I've got here, all the way down here. You can go with different colours. Maybe click there and change the colour to purple. Maybe go here and click there and maybe go for yellow, and so on. You can do a variety of different designs simply using the same approach, but there's that design there. What you can also do is you can go to Layer and you can merge them. So you can merge them all into one layer. I want them all into one single layer. You can see design there. Now with the Layers panel, click here, Effects. So click, and then you go to 3D, set that on, boost it up to the max, or the max in here, something like 100. You could, of course, add outer shadow. That just makes your design a lot darker. So I wouldn't suggest that, but you can do it if you want. Click Close. Then go to Layer and down to Rasterize. Make certain you deselect the Preserve Layer effects, otherwise you won't get the effect there, and Rasterize. You can now save it to the Brushes panel. Brushes panel here, and you can see the earlier design. There's the earlier design. Simply go to the right side menu, and you go to New Brush from Selection. So New Brush from Selection, and you can see your design there now. Go back to that original document, you can see that, and then I'm going to select this one. Obviously with a slight variation in colour, but you can see the result. Exactly the same sort of thing. Double click it. You can double click it at any time, and then you just go here. General, change the spacing, and I'm just making it 1%, key thing, and also change the size, make it about 100. And you can modify the settings if you wish, and make certain that's wet edges is not on. Always make certain, because I don't know, it always seems to slow things down as well. I find it very slow when you, but then apply it and you can see the result. Now personally, I think the red one is nicer, but you can create more colourful designs using this approach, multiple colours. If you want a multiple colour design, you can see you can create that simply by sort of toothpaste design. I guess it's a toothpaste effect. But again, you can go up here and change the symmetry. So maybe go for 12 and apply it again. And you can create different designs. Exactly the same as before. Double click there, change the rotation so you've got more of the red, less of the purple. Click OK and apply it again, and you'll get a different result. And there it is. So literally millions of designs can be created using brushes, as well as symmetry, as well as pattern tiles. And just by tweaking the pattern tile, tweaking the various brushes, and moving things around, changing the symmetry position, and variety of different designs, as well as the settings here for symmetry as well as blending modes, you can create millions of different designs. Hope you found this tutorial of interest. Any questions, as always, please leave in the comments below. Always great to hear from you. Always great. Thank you much.